Menswear and men's fashion can be a very divisive topic, and one of the biggest arguments of all time in the menswear and men's fashion scene is timeless versus trendy. And there are people that swear by going by timeless garments, but oftentimes get timeless mixed up with otherwise minimalist or simple pieces, which simply is just not the case. And then there are people who swear by trendy, fashion-forward modern garments that dress very avant-garde and confuse that with personal style. So there's a lot of right and wrong on both ends, and I think it's time we finally talk about what the real difference is, how a garment becomes timeless, the time scale as towards which trends, fads, and all of these things come into popularity, and basically my own opinion on the criteria of what makes a garment truly timeless. There are so many creators that make amazing videos on trendy versus timeless men's fashion. A couple of my favorites are from Drew Joyner, as well as my friend Harry Haas, and if you haven't gotten a chance to check those out, definitely make sure to check them out. But I feel like people very rarely explain how a timeless garment becomes timeless, and there's also really not a lot of information on that particular subject on the internet based on my own research, but I definitely want to touch a little bit on that today, and also just how I feel in regards to the trendy versus timeless standpoint. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. The term timeless men's fashion is thrown around so much these days, especially with the resurgence of heritage style and the popularity of heritage style garments such as raw selvage denim, for example, denim jackets, even fatigue pants, leather biker jackets are seemingly becoming a thing again. I mean, we have people wearing classic tailoring once again, and I think that people are starting to really confuse or blur the lines between a minimalist garment and a timeless garment, because the thing with timeless garments is that not all of them are traditionally minimalist. A great example of this is the biker jacket. The silhouette is definitely a little complex. It is detail heavy. There are also many different styles of biker jacket that are available that all kind of fall in within that timeless kind of category. And basically, when I named all of these garments, one thing I want to stress that there is a timeless trend going on right now, hence why I named this video the 2024 edition, because I do plan on doing a follow-up on this. But yeah, basically minimalist in simplicity and style does not necessarily inherit the timeless connotation or the timeless look, and there are many timeless garments that are full of detail that really exude a little bit of maximalism even in their kind of presence and the way that they look. I mean, one of my favorite examples is the fur trimmed flight jacket as well as the fur trimmed overcoat. I mean, stuff like that really doesn't speak minimalism to me. It definitely speaks that you're trying to really convey a certain look. But with that being said, these garments throughout time have definitely maintained a certain level of rewearability and kind of bob and weave through trends. And the thing with timeless men's fashion that you really want to keep in mind is that more often than not, you're probably not going to be on trend. You won't be completely off trend, especially when it comes to fit, but you're never really going to be a trendy dresser, which isn't a problem. But with that being said, your clothes are definitely going to have a lot more rewearability, a lot more versatility, and they're also going to provide a good base for you to incorporate some of those trendy pieces that you might enjoy. All right, so let me explain. Basically, in my opinion, the raw selvage denim jean, as many of us who have been on the channel know, is one of my favorite garments ever made. I always recommend that every single person has one, because this garment is going to be the backbone that connects the timeless, long-lasting durability and timeless connotation of this garment, and is going to bridge your entire outfit with today's world by, let's say, pairing it with a nice lace kind of short sleeve shirt, which we've been seeing a lot of in the past year and a half. This is a perfect example of an outfit that incorporates both timeless and trendy, which therefore kind of exemplifies utilizing timeless clothing as a vessel for you to incorporate trendy garments into your wardrobe and into your outfits as well. And we're going to go through a couple of these examples throughout the video. But yeah, why don't we get right into why and how a garment becomes a timeless garment? Basically, I've been trying to do research on this for a little bit now, and there's very few resources that I can find that kind of predict how a garment becomes timeless, and I've kind of narrowed it down to a couple of different prerequisites or criteria that inadvertently create the idea of a timeless garment. Basically, number one, it has to serve a purpose or a certain type of utility at the beginning of its life. So I feel like it has to be invented to solve a problem. And again, using the raw selvage denim as an example, long story short, it was basically invented to provide a really sturdy and easily wearable work pant that was meant to last a very long time, and was also reinforced eventually with rivets, with copper hardware, different sewing techniques. But all in all, the raw denim jean was basically invented to solve that problem, that workers really needed a good sturdy pair of work pants, and that's why denim was invented. It solved the problem. It solved an issue that people actually had, and it wasn't about fashion. It wasn't about trend. It was literally just about creating something that worked. Another one of my favorite examples is the trench coat. And basically the trench coat was invented, again, out of utility. It was invented to stop wind. It was invented to prevent water from penetrating the membrane of the coat. It was made because they needed to keep people dry. And I mean, you start to notice a pattern here that most of the timeless garments that we own, even like the fatigue pant, for example, I mean, the sateen military fatigue pant was literally invented, I believe, in the 40s for the US government to be able to create a work pant with deep pockets that were reinforced with a lightweight cotton fiber that made it easily washable, breathable, soft, drapey, and just something that wouldn't make the wearer too hot. Basically, all in all, a timeless garment's lifespan begins when a garment is made to solve a problem and enhance the wearer's ability to navigate throughout everyday life. Another one of the criteria that I feel like really determines what a timeless garment is that it has to be associated with an era as well as an association with an icon either from or outside of that era that popularizes it and allows modern culture to make a callback to an association with that garment. Perfect example is Marlon Brando with the white t-shirt. Literally everyone's seen this picture, and basically all of the brands out right now that are manufacturing heritage style t-shirts either call their shirt the Marlon Brando shirt, or they make a reference to it, or basically just copy that exact same fit with the shorter sleeves, a little bit wider of a body here, hugs the arms more. I mean, this is basically the telltale sign of a timeless garment, the association with an era and an icon. I mean, the denim jacket was super popularized by Bruce Springsteen. I mean, he even popularized denim jeans as well. He wasn't the only one, but I mean, you have to literally credit this man with basically portraying and claiming the denim jean and the denim jacket itself as the American staple wardrobe. I mean, this happened almost 40 years ago. And this is a perfect example of how a timeless garment starts to gain popularity, because not only does it serve a purpose, but it's also been popularized and reinforced that kind of connotation with the garment that it is something cool, that it is something that serves a purpose. And that in our minds gives the garment a little bit of a lasting power that inadvertently becomes what we all know and love as the timeless garment, as heritage style. And with that being said, I think that the last bullet point of criteria that is necessary for a garment to become timeless is it has to stay relevant for a certain period of time, which now is harder than ever to do because trends come and go so quickly, which is why we really haven't seen a timeless garment invented in a while. In my opinion, I feel like the most recent timeless garment that's been invented in our time, you can't even really call it a garment because it's more of a category, but basically the whole athleisure trend kind of almost fulfills that kind of criteria that I mentioned before. It was created to solve a problem. It was created to make clothing more comfortable as well as accommodate a slimmer and tighter fitting garment, which was becoming super popular in the 2010s. And also it's been popularized by the likes of people like A$AP Rocky, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Beyonce. So basically, if you look at it from that perspective, you really already have two of the three criteria that I mentioned before kind of checked off when it comes to the athleisure trend. And now we just kind of have to see if it's got staying power, if it's going to be here for a while. It already has been for quite some time now, and we are still seeing a lot of athleisure garments coming out. So I have a pretty good feeling that this generation's invention of the athleisure garment probably is going to end up becoming a timeless garment at some point. But again, don't quote me on that. This is all speculation, and this is all based on opinion and just observation, but it just makes sense that this is how a timeless garment becomes timeless in the public's eye. But moving on to trendy garments, the thing with trendy garments and basing a whole style around a trendier wardrobe is that it's going to be very expensive, it's not really lucrative for everyday life, and it's also very hard to kind of invent your own style if you live off of brands that primarily thrive off of maximalism and doing too much, quote unquote. It also limits your wardrobe quite a lot in regards to what you can wear with them and how often you can wear these garments. And basically you'll fall into the trap of what I like to call occasional or situational dressing, in a sense where, for example, you can have a garment that is really trendy and really popular, but it only works with certain types of garments that follow that trend or kind of mirror it and live in the shadow of it, and you really can't wear anything else with it. So by default, it almost becomes like the men's suit where you can't break the jacket or the pants apart, you have to wear those together, and you end up wearing them over and over again with the same kind of fit, the same kind of style, which, don't get me wrong, I'm all about wearing your garments over and over again, but I like to switch it up. Like, I'll wear this polo with so many different types of pants that I own because I set myself up for a layup when it comes to buying pieces that are gonna work with so many other pieces in the wardrobe. Trendier wardrobes really don't work that way. And this is a mistake that I see a lot of people making. And if you don't have the financial backing to cover that kind of lifestyle, then you're really gonna have a tough time getting dressed, and you're probably gonna end up wearing the same thing over and over again quite a lot. And with that, you're also gonna be wasting a lot of clothing because you're gonna be hopping off of trend. You're gonna have these garments sitting in your wardrobe for a long time, and then you're gonna end up donating them or throwing them out, inadvertently wasting clothes and really harming the environment in a nasty way. I mean, the chemicals and the production of these garments really usually is kind of nasty. And for you to cop garments that really follow or stress on that trendier kind of look without buying garments that are meant to last and meant to bob and weave through trend, you're really doing a kind of disservice. And don't get me wrong, I love some of these garments. I cop them. I think it's fun to have a couple of them, but I think there's a way to do it smart. Harry Haas actually touched on this very well in that video that he did. Definitely make sure to check that out. But I 100% wholeheartedly agree with his idea that the timeless wardrobe becomes the vessel or the bridge to connect your own personal style to the trend that's going on. And now, what do I mean by that? Basically, you want the trendier garments to be able to sit on top of a timeless garment that makes it easier on the eye to look at. It makes it easy for the public to digest, but it also makes it easier to rewear and makes it less likely for someone to see you with the same garment twice and say, hey, you're wearing that shirt again. It almost gives off the appearance or the idea that you have more clothes than you really do, which is funny because I get that comment all the time. I really don't have as much as people think. I just have pieces that work with basically everything in my wardrobe, so it always looks like I'm wearing a new outfit. And I think that balance is definitely the way to do it. So basically, I feel like the equation is a nice 70-30 ratio when it comes to 70% timeless and 30% trendy, because at the same time, I feel like it's important to experiment with trends because they make men's fashion more interesting. They grow the industry, which funds a lot of new styles, a lot of new ideas, a lot of new brands. And just because something falls off of trend doesn't mean that you want to stop wearing it, because at the end of the day, that's personal style. So I think it helps kind of guide you into figuring out what your personal style is. And lastly, trendier garments actually help fill a hole in the wardrobe itself. I think that both trendy and timeless are important, but I think that there has to be a balance, and you have to have a certain level of knowledge in order to be able to wear them correctly. You have to do your research. You have to keep up with what's going on in fashion and kind of observe and see what other people are doing, because that's how we grow in our own personal style. I take inspiration all the time, and basically that's how you really nail down and accomplish what we all know and love to call as the personal style, our own personal look. That's how you develop an outfit and a style that exudes visual interest. But anyways, with that being said, I'm definitely going to do another part to this video and extrapolate way more on these topics. And I know that not everybody's going to agree with me, and I am more than okay with that. That is based on facts and observation that I've done and researched, but there are a lot of people that are also going to have differing views. And at the end of the day, I would love to hear that in the comments. So definitely let me know if you agree or disagree, and let me know why. And let me know if there's anything that I missed. I'd definitely love to incorporate it into the next video. And I mean, this was a lot of fun. This was a video that I've wanted to do for such a long time, and I can't wait for part 2. So definitely stay tuned. And with that being said, thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week.